Yo, what's up, everybody?
Yo.
What's going on?
What's up, Big Tex?
What's going on, Big Ant?
How you doing after a long time no chat?
I know. As you guys can see, we are missing Kat. She is not feeling well this evening. And so she asked if the boys can take care of the show. Of course.
We got you. We got
you. So
I'm on the ground once again, except I'm on the second floor.
How does that work?
No, so I'm
what does it mean?
I'm not in my I'm not in my normal studio today. I'm here.
The story's up. Are you floating? What are you doing?
I am at our little beachside condo.
Oh, look at you. Living on the beach and have a beachside condo. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God. I'm so bougie.
So what have you been up to, bro?
Yeah, just trying to get it together. You know, it took me a couple days to recover, but I'm good. We were in Texas.
Recover from what?
Were you there?
Was I there?
What a time to be alive.
Oh my gosh, you're telling me. So you had a little get together out here in Tejas?
So we had a great we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we had a really great event in Longview, and I have to throw it up to the Chad Prather team, you and everybody who put that event together was amazing and seamless. What's wrong? Did that put a little bit of spice in the back of your throat?
Ooh, that was good.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, look at it. Oh
my God. It was like yeah, pucker.
Deserves a second sip in a row.
Yeah, do your Kegels on this one. Kegels.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, ladies in the chat, please tell him what Kegels are.
Hey, I'll tell you what, though, like, in all honesty, putting on that event and organizing that thing was no, this is not FBI scotch. That bottle's unopened, waiting on the FBI. Dana says she's doing them.
Right, I'm doing them too, Dana. Hey, she'll explain later. She'll explain on commercial break.
It was fun doing that one. I don't know why. Like I was telling you this beforehand. Like before the event, I kind of figured it was going to be a decent size event. I'm like thinking, what did we do different?
Yeah, and maybe it's because we had a candidate that was attached to it.
But we did in Michigan.
Well, we didn't have a candidate. We didn't have somebody running.
Ryan Kelly.
Oh, when y'all went, I didn't go to that one. That's right. Yeah. And that brought.
I mean, that was still a good sized crowd, but this one was like.
Yeah, this one filled the whole restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had school board officials there and people who are involved in all different kinds of different aspects of local government. No, it was great. It really reminded me that there are people that care because we do. I saw Rebel Fox had stitched, I kind of posted a couple of teasers from whatever I'd gotten from the event for me speaking. And, people agree. It's like, we talk about it. We say, hey, you're mad. I'm mad. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I always notice that if we do something in a blue state, it just nothing ever pops up. Like, Indiana's not really a blue state, but it was for people that were mad at the government.
Right.
And yet we were out there fighting for y'all, and y'all didn't show.
But you know what? Like, we can't really blame all blue states because, look at our Freedom 515 events that we put on. The blue states showed out, and the red states we couldn't get anybody to come to.
Right, and at that time we had kind of blamed it on complacency, where we were like, okay, so I mean, people are kind of comfortable in those red states right now. Like they're riding the freedom wave. You know what I mean? They're like, ooh, like we got governors that don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, Tex, but you know,
Hey, I do got to ask this. Did you get a little taste of that Texas spirit during that day?
yes.
Oh, yeah. That
I
thing's
did.
strong, ain't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's strong, yes.
That made you want to be a little Texan, huh? Hey.
Oh, I'm telling you, in a previous life, I was probably a Texan.
I'm telling you, like, now you see why I tell you, like, there's a difference between my side of Texas and, like, where Heather and Barbie live.
100%. Your side of Texas is Texans. Like, not that where Barbie and Heather are at or not, but y'all really show that Texas pride. Like, you know, the what the rest of America thinks Texas is.
Yeah.
Is what y'all embody.
And that's why I was saying, like, you come out here and it's going to be a totally different experience, which is wild. Like, that's a great thing. Not to brag on my state, but I'm gonna brag on my state. Like in Texas, you get all different kinds of environments everywhere you're at, right? So, like out here, you get the old field Texas side. Dallas, you get a little bit of more uppity. West Texas is like your Hispanic desert. Austin is fucking weird. And then your South Texas is, you know, still a lot more Hispanic culture and everything down there.
Right. And yeah, and I guess, I mean, you could probably, you know, you could even say that for Florida. You know, if you go to the east coast of Florida and you go to Dade, Broward County, super liberal, you know. So every state kind of has their but I have to say, I mean, even when we left the event, we went to a local bar. Every walk of life that walked through that door, even if they weren't with our event, they joined us. Like Texans were joining, like they were very hospitable and they love Texas, man. What are you smoking on?
It's called My Father.
Quart in Heaven.
No, not quite that far.
Got it.
Yeah, that and that's where, like, I know that you were kind of ragging on Texas a little bit before you came about masks and all that stuff. And I told you, just wait until you come to ours, because like our side, like a lot of places shut down just because they were mandated to, but for the most part, we didn't obey any mask laws out here.
Yeah, and no, and you know what, and that was your part of Texas and stuff, but I think the overall disappointment, I guess, in Texans that I gathered is, you know, your governor did want to close you guys down, right?
Not want
and
to.
He did, and that was enough for them to be like, "Screw you, dude." Like,
hopefully. We'll see.
Well, I still see people in the comments like, "Screw Chad," like Abbott all the way, and I'm thinking to myself, what?
That's why I say what I said, like in my little mini speeches in between everybody, is it's weird on the right side. If you're a Republican or conservative, after what all we've been preaching for such a long time of not being with the establishment, hating rhinos, hating big government, and you can't look at anything that Hot Wheels has done within his administration for the last 2 terms and say that he's not establishment, that he is anti-big government, because he's grown the government of the state of Texas. And he's corrupt. He's the biggest rhino we got. And so it's weird to see people like, and then the funny thing is like everything that we hated or that we loved about Trump, that you couldn't buy him. He's just a normal human being, he's everything that Chad is except missing the B for a billionaire. Chad's not a billionaire.
Yeah.
But he's a businessman. He says what he wants, when he wants, how he wants. You can't cancel him. You can't buy him. He lives by his convictions, and he loves Texas. And so it's like, and then you have people that are like, oh, Chad doesn't have any experience. Yeah, you're right. He doesn't have any experience of shutting us down. He has none of that experience. He doesn't have a bad voting record. You're right. And I'm glad. I'll vote for that all day long.
Right.
Until they prove otherwise. But
why would you want that? it isn't even experience. At this point, you have career experience, which draws in it draws in it's like a slew of issues throughout the entire the entire time in office.
Right.
So they start making these deals, and then they start being pushed up against the wall by other people, and they're like, well, we have this on you, and it's like, it's because they've been there for so long that they've done things or have deals or all this bullshit. And then you have people who are just normal Americans, whether they're a billionaire or not a billionaire. They have no experience, no skin in the game, but they want to do it solely to fucking save their country.
Yeah.
That has my vote already. So what else do you got? And then when you hear all the other great things, you're like, bet, facts, let me sign. Like, you got
so as a non-Texan and hearing Chad speak, like if you were to get rid of your crush on him and all that other good stuff, like what was your takeaway from him?
I love the realness and the passion that he has for Texas. I love that he knows so much about what Texas needs and what he as a Texan is tired of seeing. I was very impressed that he has been nonstop all over Texas. I didn't even realize you guys had over 200 and something counties. I think it was like 254 counties. Mm-hmm. And he's been to like 200 of them or something. He's been to a lot of counties.
Yeah, he said he's been to over 200.
Okay.
Yeah.
That shows determination to me. That shows somebody who cares. And yeah, he, at the end of it, he's like, come shoot the shoot, talk to me. I got time. I'm not going nowhere. Like, if you guys want to come talk to me, like, let's shoot the shoot, shit, whatever. And I was like, that's exactly what people need. That's what Texas needs.
And that's why for me, like when I reach out and I start, at a local level all the way to state, it's really hard to get the federal people. But if I can't get anybody to return my call, the candidate that does return my call or will visit with me is usually the candidate who I end up voting for no matter what. Because to me, if you're willing to sit down with the people, you're willing to earn your vote, or you're willing to earn my vote, which means you're working for the position. And when Beto went up against Ted Cruz the last election, that's almost really, in all honesty, besides the amount of money that Beto raised, what almost beat Ted Cruz was because Beto put in the work, man. I hate to say it, but he visited all 254 counties. He went to all counties and shook hands and did what Chad's doing, and he raised the money, and he still didn't win, but still, I mean, like it was close. And I think Ted Cruz thought he just had it in the bag, didn't have to work as hard because he thought he had it in the bag. It was close, and if Abbott doesn't watch it, because he won't go into any debates. He won't do any forums with any of the candidates, and all his TV commercials are attacking Beto. He's not even addressing the primary because that's how arrogant and cocky he is, that he feels he has it for the primary election.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And he won't do anything.
And that's where I'm at right now when it comes to like, okay, so here's a good example. So people are like, you're originally from Illinois, like help Illinois. Okay, I tried to help you before. I'll play again. Bet. Okay.
Sure.
I got 2 candidates that I've been trying to reach out to, and I got 2 lieutenant governors that are running that I've been trying to reach out to. Tell me how long it's taken them to reach out back to me.
Have they?
No.
Oh, they still haven't.
No. So this is what I mean. You are for the people. You want to help Illinois. Apparently, you want to save Illinois, right? Well, do you? Because you have somebody who wants to give you a platform to speak on because nobody knows who the hell you are. Yeah. But yet you won't even return the phone calls of the people or emails even. Shit, yeah. I don't ask Sally, that's your front desk woman, to reach back to me. I don't give a shit. Reach back to me.
Yeah.
No.
And that's what we got to remember too, is in general across the nation, if we got to bring politics back down to us. And we've lost gauge of that. We've made politicians be celebrities and worshipped and untouchable. And so now when these people run, they feel like they have to already be at that level, even though they're not there. But even when they are elected, we got to remember to bring them back down and be like, you know what? If you're not still willing to meet with the people, which Abbott isn't, Dan Patrick's not, and I guarantee Ted Cruz won't, and a lot of our state congressmen, they won't. To me, like, if you're not willing to at least talk to your constituents at all, I'm not talking about the instant reply email or the automated email back. I'm not talking about that. I should be able to talk to my people because they represent me. They work for me. You and I pay their salaries.
Yeah.
And if I can't interview you, I can't hire you for the job.
Right. Right. And that's, that's where the frustration comes in. I think, you go to places like Texas, you go to places like Florida. I can't speak for South Dakota. I haven't been. I've been to Nashville and Tennessee, and I see a lot of, Tennesseans that they're not complying. Even Indiana, I've been to Indiana. I see a lot of, people in Indiana, they're just about their normal life and stuff. But then you go to these places like Chicago, and it's kind of recapping what I said at the event. But it's like you go to places like Chicago. Yeah, exactly, Scott. Or Illinois, say, not even Chicago. And, you're like, oh, we're so frustrated. Oh, we have to wear a mask. Well, first of all, you don't. Okay. Oh, we're so frustrated. We had to get the jab. Okay, well, you don't. We've already talked about what you can do and what you need to do. But then there's no push. There's no move. They're pissed off about their kids. And yes, we've talked to a lot of moms in part of Illinois that have been on the show, and they're doing a lot of great things. But it's frustrating. It's frustrating going there. It's frustrating going there and hearing them bitch and then not seeing anybody else do anything. Like, I'm one man. You're one man.
Well, this is really
I'm no longer part of your state anymore. Like, you need to help your state out too.
Yeah. And this is where we're going to actually start to see some things, because if we're not seeing it, like, I don't know if you saw Carhartt today.
No.
They're still going to mandate the vaccine for their company.
Of course.
Well, okay. So we say, of course, to a company like Carhartt, who is predominantly probably purchased by non-vaxxers.
Yeah. Farmers, construction guys. Yeah.
Probably. I'm going to generalize. More people that will not get the vaccine or are conservative than not. And you have a company that's so out of touch, because now you have a generation buying Carhartt that is not part of that generation. So they're trying to appeal to them. Well, here's our chance as Americans to stick up for other Americans. Stop buying Carhartt. Just stop.
They won't.
Like, exactly. So how pissed off are we?
Not
I will no longer buy Carhartt.
I can't speak.
If they reverse policy, I might, but I will not buy Carhartt at all.
Yeah.
And so because of it, and because there's so many other brands out there now, I don't have to buy but we can vote with our dollars. And if we hit them in the pocketbook, we've seen it. We rallied for Southwest. We rallied for the airlines, and they all reversed policy.
Right.
I didn't know they were Michigan based.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what we just got to do. I mean, now, so because this is what I warned too, is that when that Supreme Court ruling came out, that was just for the government. That doesn't mean the businesses can't do it. And
right.
So now is our chance to go, okay. Like my son, so my oldest boy got a medical exemption to not wear his mask. He works for McDonald's. So he got a medical exemption from his doctor. And they told him no. They wouldn't take the exemption. And they told him he has to wear a mask or be fired.
So he's wearing it?
Well, he's going to look for a new job. He asked me what I thought. And I said, well, you need the money. So work for now and just go use that as motivation to look for a new job.
Right.
and make sure that's part of the interview requirements is that you don't have to wear one, or they can give you an exemption. But I mean, that's where it's at. I mean, I already don't eat that shitty ass food, but when we know companies are doing this, we just got to stop buying them. Like, we got to get uncomfortable.
Here's it's like beating a dead horse. You tell these people, look, personal family members of mine that I'm just so frustrated, and I'm just like, you know what, fuck you. Like, well, what am I supposed to do if I have to get the vaccine? I got to feed my family. Okay. Don't fucking cry then. You're the problem. You're the fucking problem. And I'm sick of hearing it. And I'm at the point in my life right now, and I think most Americans are. Where look, 60. I think it was last I heard it was 65 or 67% of people are vaccinated in the United States. They wanted to be over 78.
Oh, they changed it. It used to be 70.
Okay.
Now it's 78. That wouldn't surprise me if they changed it, but
yeah, I would have to get those exact numbers, but I could have sworn it was 78. So if they ain't getting the vaccine at this point, you ain't getting those people to get the vaccine. I mean,
and that's why they got to force it.
Yeah.
And that's where us Americans got to stick up for the rest of the Americans that can't.
Yeah, I will. I mean, if you want to be a pussy, I'm still going to stick up for you. Look, I'm all for medical freedom. I've told everybody that. I'm for choice. I am not for choice, though, if you're doing it so that you're not making yourself uncomfortable, or you're getting it and then bitching about it and crying about it later. Because there's always a solution to what you can do if you don't want to do something.
Right.
You could figure out an option. Now, people that get it, do I not like them or hate them? No, not at all. In my mind, though, did I lose a little bit, for me personally, a little bit of respect for that person? I've told you this before. Absolutely, 100%. I do lose respect for somebody because it just doesn't. If you didn't want to do it, I'm sorry, I lost respect for you. Because if the government said, here, heroin is going to be great for your for this virus, people will all start doing heroin in the streets, it seems like.
Well, the funny thing is like, so you hear this shit all the time. You won't take the vaccine, but you'll eat like McDonald's and drink sodas, right?
Right.
The only reason why they're making that comparison is because they know that the shit that's in that food is bad for you.
Yeah, right.
Which is the same shit the FDA has approved.
Right.
Our government.
Right. 100%. And that's so fucked up, dude. Here's the thing, though, that people need to realize, and this is where I really thought that I hate to call everybody pussies. The people who did get it, here's where I thought they were going to really. I'm like, oh, here it is. They're going to get pissed off now. They're all going to grow. They're all going to grow a sack now. Is when the government said, oh, wait, you're not fully vaccinated anymore. I want us to get the booster. And then I was like, oh, America's pissed. Nope. Boosting up. They're fucking sticking it right in their fucking asshole. Yep. And wait, they're talking about getting another booster. Here's the thing. The people that I know that have gotten it, and you ask them about the booster, they're like, I'm not getting no fucking booster.
Yeah.
Like, they're really adamant about it. They're like, I am not getting a fucking booster. And I'm not getting a booster every 6 months.
Yeah. My stepdad got it and had some bad reactions. And he's like, I'm not doing another one.
That's what I mean. So they've already lost. I mean, they've already lost another big portion of America that's like, I'm not.
But it's hard to like say like the vaccine's good when you can still catch, spread, and die.
Right. Right.
That's literally not the definition of a vaccine. And the fact that you got to keep getting these boosters. What's that tell you?
Well, what should have happened with this Omicron is this should have been a godsend to people, and they should have been like, oh my God, coronavirus went down to a common cold. So now from here on out, there's just going to be different variant strands like the cold. And we've gotten ahead of this. Like, natural immunity can happen. People can start moving on. We can take the masks off. Let's go. That's not what happened. Yeah. What happened was they put everybody into another fucking frenzy. They've scared everybody even more. Now people are not only wearing one mask, but now everybody's walking around wearing 2 masks.
And these
everywhere.
And that new hood thing.
Bro.
Well, but okay, so here's the thing. Like, do you know who Jen Oz on TikTok is?
No.
She's like 150,000 following, decent size. And she did a friends only video today. And a new person came in and took over their job. So she had to go get a COVID test to come back to work, right? Because that was a requirement from the job. So she went and got a COVID test, has 0 symptoms, not even remotely close to feeling sick. And guess what? She got a positive test. So guess what she can't do? Go to work. When have we ever tested people that are not sick?
I don't know. I never. Listen, in the past, if you would have walked into an emergency room in an urgent care center in the past, and you would have said, and you just woke up one day and you're like, I'm bored. I'm going to go see if I have strep. And you walked in there and you're like, hey, I just want to get tested for strep throat.
Well, what symptoms do you have?
Yeah, what symptoms do you have? None. Why do you want to get tested for strep? I just want to see if I have it. They'd be like, go kick rocks, bro.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, we ain't got time for this shit today.
Yeah.
What is the difference now?
All of a sudden. It doesn't make any sense. And
this is what I'm saying, is this is why Americans are pussies. Because they're fucking standing in lines, bro. They're standing in lines.
For hours.
Dude, New Year's Eve, because we have a lot of tourists here. New Year's Eve, the ballpark where the Twins are, Century Field.
Right.
It was wrapped for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles of cars and cars and cars and cars at the testing center. Why do you all need a test?
Right.
Why?
You can't tell me all you motherfuckers are sick.
Bro, listen, I have a cold because I traveled. I'm good. It's gone. Okay? Yeah. I had a cold for a day and a half. I was like, oh, okay. I told you guys yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, well, it happens. When you travel, it was cold there. You came back. It's not, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, that's true. But why am I going to go get tested? I just sat home for a day and fucking chilled out. Like, I had some hot tea. I chilled. I took some vitamins.
And yet?
Yeah, they're backed up and they have nobody to take care. They're already on a shortage.
Yeah, they're already on a shortage. And then God forbid you ever ask any of these questions out loud.
Well, and this was my thing today too, is I made a video about it, and I was like, I was talking to somebody and I said, oh, when, because I do believe in science. I believe that there's things are always discovered, and we're always discovering new treatments for things and new diseases and all kinds of stuff, right? So with that being the case, why would every single doctor and scientist that has been credible for decades, that are coming out with information that don't line up with the Fauci information, automatically labeled misinformation?
Right.
These are Harvard Nobel Prize winners, some of these doctors.
Like
that are
Dr.
coming
Malone.
that are coming up with alternate information on natural immunity and different types of strands and all this shit. But they want to label it as motherfucking information. And I'm so done not swearing, guys. I'm sorry. I'm at the point where I'm just fucking pissed. Why is this fucker, Dr. Fauci, the only one that everybody listens to, motherfucker? Why?
I wish I knew the answer to that, because it makes no sense to me either.
This motherfucker needs to be fucking exiled. He should be stoned publicly.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Sorry. I'm at the point where it's like, I'm done, and that's why I'm saying this divide is so deep rooted now with the country. Whereas I will literally, and it's God forgive me, but I have such deep rooted disgust for people on the opposing side that if I was running through battle, I would look at them and I would be like, I'm sorry, and I would keep on going. And that sucks to say that.
Yeah.
It really does, but I'm like, I told you so. I'm sorry. You're on your fucking own, bro. I'm out. And I would leave them.
Yeah.
I dislike them that much. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, they really dislike us too.
Right. They would do the same.
Yeah. If we died from COVID and they're vaccinated and they lived, they'd be dancing all over our grave. We know they would. I mean, just look at our comments that we get. If it be against COVID protocols, just look at them. Yeah, they would do the same thing. Half of TikTok would celebrate if you and I passed away from COVID.
Oh, there'd be all kinds of parades and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. And hey, but maybe we'd make just as much of a worldwide impact as George Floyd. More
than Martin Luther King.
More than Martin Luther King on Martin Luther King Day.
At least. I mean, Biden doesn't even think Martin Luther King made an impact. Bro. Every single African-American person on the face of the fucking planet should want Joe Biden to be split in half publicly.
But Trump's the racist.
No, listen, it is so far gone. Dude, it is so far gone that I swear to God, all these people are literally vegetables. They're all brain dead.
Yeah.
There's no more talking to you anymore. I will completely fucking block you. I will publicly humiliate you if you fucking try to fucking even come for me. I'm done. I'm that pissed. I'm done. I've looked at all 4 people that I've seen today out of the entire population of Florida walking down the street with this fucking mask on and publicly said, "You all right?" Loud.
That doesn't surprise me.
You good? No. Do you think you have a whole audience in your head fucking clapping like, "Oh, you're saving everybody. Look at this guy. He's wearing a fucking mask." Fuck off. You and your fucking mask. I hope it fucking burns a hole in your fucking mouth.
And I can tell you guys on here, I've watched this man in person go off on people in public wearing a mask. When he says he does it, he absolutely does it. But the thing is the difference between him and I is he'll have the gay card. I don't have that.
I'd be like, "Bitch, what did you just say?
Are you talking to a gay man that way?"
I was like, "Hold on, wait. Hello? Did somebody find the homo card? Where's the homo card at?" Dust that bitch off, because I'm ready to fight a girl. You make me style laughing so much. I'm just tired. I'm tired of it. So, nope. It's breaking news. You're hearing it right here first and live. So speaking about science and talking about all that, I want everybody to kind of just put your mindset now over to, Australia, Canada. Next Monday, I will be on an Australian podcast on Instagram. I will post the details on my Instagram if you guys want to go and check that out. It'll be a live podcast. I've been on her podcast before. She's basically the right side broadcasting for Australia, and she's got a lot of great information about what's going on out there. And then I had talked to a lady who's going to be on our show this evening, who talked a little bit on my show a couple Mondays ago with Jordan and I about how Canada is executing vaccinations for kids 5 and up. And they have taken vans and city buses, turned them into on-site vaccination centers. No, fuck her. She's a fucking psycho. I hope she's watching. She's a fucking dipshit. Man, do you like the new 2022 air?
I fucking love it. I'm dying, living for it.
So this woman said that they're pulling kids off the fucking streets and vaccinating them, bringing them into these buses and vans, vaccinating them without parental consent. She stopped one of them and asked them these questions. We're going to have her on here in the back end of the show. And that is another thing that I would have thought, I know it's happening in Canada, but I know we've heard it happen. We've heard it happen a couple times here in the United States with a couple of different situations. And we're not too far from them snatching your children up and getting them vaccinated. And I don't care. You can call me a conspiracy theorist all day. Every single thing we have said has come true when it comes to this pandemic.
Yes.
So I don't care. Call me. I'm not a Q person. Tex is not a Q person. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. How about, fuck him. He's a fucking pointless piece of shit. I'm so done with that. You want to talk about a fucking faggot. And then
you said it this time, not me. Don't take it out on me.
Tell me you want my dick without telling me you want my dick. I
tried this weekend and you wouldn't.
You kissed me on the mouth though.
That was me telling you I want your dick without telling you.
But where did I go? Where did I go?
What does it mean?
What does it mean? I do not let my tail up. Yeah. You both turned so red. We did. We had a fun time this weekend. So that's what I'm saying. It's like here's another thing where I thought by the approval of kids ages 5 and up to be mandatory vaccinations for. I thought that was all. I'm like, oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Yes. America's gonna be pissed. Taking my 5-year-old to go get vaccination.
Bro, here's the sad part. You had parents willing to be part of the test trial of this vaccine.
Bro, they should go to hell.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
That's I mean, they should have their kids ripped from them.
No, we were in Longview, Texas. So northeast.
Yeah,
Texas.
I was only in Fort Worth for literally a day. Like the day I came in, I went to the stockyard.
Yeah.
Not even. Yeah, I went to the stockyards that night, and then I drove out. We drove out to Longview the next day. So, and I stayed in Longview that night, and then Heather and I drove back at 6:00 in the morning.
I agree. It's child abuse.
Yeah, it is. And I smashed a Whataburger on the way at like 6:30 a.m. Because I still felt liquor in the back of my mouth. If one more person said, "Aunt, I bought you a shot. Aunt, I bought you a shot," I was like, I handled my liquor good though. I was standing.
You did stand after all the shots we did and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
ready to bring Kat on?
Yeah, is she in?
Yep.
All right, let's bring her in.
All right.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good. We got a blizzard here, so a lot of snow. It's just great.
Oh no, I'm in Florida and Texas in Texas.
Yeah, so I'm very jealous.
So, Kat, this is Texan. This is Kat.
Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
I've been
you.
listening in. You guys are awesome. I'm laughing along with you.
Oh, well, we're a lot more spicy than the Speak Truth Without Fear show, so I should have warned you ahead of time.
Yeah,
awesome.
we do get a little crazy. Kat, will you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Kat. I'm half of Tony and Kat, my husband. He's just inside doing some meetings for our business. But yeah, I live in Ontario. There's some craziness happening here, and we're slowly turning into a communist nation if people don't wake up. That's pretty much about myself. I do administration during the day, so it's not anything fun or exciting. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
So tell us.
Now, how is it different? So obviously down here in America, we kind of use Canada's like healthcare system as what we don't want.
Yeah. Yes.
So between what Canadians' healthcare system is and like you're saying it's turning into a communist, what's the difference?
Yeah, I can go into our healthcare system. People think it's great because it's quote unquote free. We're one of the most taxed people anywhere. If you go look at American tax laws versus ours, if you make $90,000 in Ontario, you get taxed up to 43% of your income. So you can say it's free, or you could just say we pay a lot of taxes to go towards that. But if you still show up at the emergency room, like unless you're literally don't have an arm, you're just going to be waiting there for 6+ hours on average. So it's not really great. I'd rather just pay for our healthcare.
So that would mean you're taxed. If you make $90,000, you are taxed $38,700.
Yeah, you can just go on like Ontario's like tax brackets, and you can see
$3,200 a month.
Yeah, we're heavily taxed.
I think I pay less than health insurance than that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But hey, you guys got free healthcare. I mean,
sure. I don't think people understand. I don't think. Sometimes I think Canadians don't understand that it's not necessarily free. It's coming out of someone's pocket. Just look at the bottom of your paycheck, and you'll see where your tax money is going.
Oh, so sounds like American.
Yeah, you're paying for it either way. You just don't understand how the process works. So.
Yeah, well, here in America, they call it Build Back Better.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Infrastructure.
Yeah, infrastructure. Everyone's dying of COVID, but we're going to build a bridge next week.
Yeah.
That's priorities.
Yeah, that's the current administration. So are you into any type of politics at all, like locally in your province or your city? Have you gotten involved in any type of politics?
It was a couple of years ago more so. I've gotten busy over the last couple of years. I just prefer having one-on-one conversations with people and just like sharing mindset and just helping people at grassroots level, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. In terms of actually being a part of like a political organization, no, not at this time. But we just had a huge change in the last couple of years too. PPC is really big. The New Blue Party is another big one that's come out. So yeah, it's a lot going on.
Now on TikTok last year specifically, I think it was when the borders closed. There was a lot of cries from Canadians for Americans to like help them out and whatnot. Can you just kind of describe what all is happening? I'm assuming you can't speak across all Canada, or maybe you can, but probably more specifically in your area.
I think the biggest thing that's happening is our politicians right now are going against the Canadians' Charter of Rights and Freedoms. We haven't had ours as long as you guys have had yours. Realistically, ours formulated in, I think, like 1982, where all the provinces came together to actually formulate that. And right now with Justin Trudeau, what he's doing is he's basically trying to apply an emergency act across all the provinces. So they basically have to listen to his emergency order of COVID and all the things that are going on, which basically would take away all of our rights and freedoms. His father at that time was actually a really cool interview. There's only one surviving premier from the original signing of that. And he does a bunch of interviews all throughout like local churches, local events and YouTubes and things like that. But he actually talks about the purposes behind the Charter of Rights, that each word is specific, everything in it is specific, and how basically the government here right now is what they're doing is not legal based on what they're trying to say with regards to that. But yeah, so they're trying to restrict our mobility. We have the right to go anywhere in Canada. We have the right to leave Canada if we want to. They're trying to say we can't do that. You can't have free speech. Obviously, you guys get censored a lot. We get censored up here as well. And yeah, they want to take away our autonomy of our bodies as well, saying that you have to be vaccinated to be able to go places, which isn't equality rights. You're taking away the equality of the people that are not vaccinated, saying they can't go to restaurants, they can't go do this, they can't go do that, because they're a danger to society based on their vaccination status. So very interesting.
So tell us a little bit about they've just approved for children to be vaccinated 5 and up, right?
Yeah, I was laughing last week. I was talking to Anthony Watson. I was like, clearly I'm Canadian, because I was like, I don't know what he's going to throw into that bus, but I had to like Google it after. I was like, what's an M8? Because we don't have weapons here. Yeah, so I was laughing. I was like laughing along, but I was like, I don't know what that is.
Well, she told me what, and you guys are about to find out. she told me what they're doing with these buses and kids and vaccinations. I'm like, oh no, I would have been throwing M80s in those buses. If I started seeing that here. So she didn't know what M80s were because they don't have weapons. So tell us, same story you told me, what happened and what's been happening in Canada with children.
So back when I first saw it, my husband and I were driving home, and this was just sort of like in a neighborhood close by to where we are. So it's low income housing. Parents aren't home. They're working. They're busy. So you have a lot of kids that are just about doing like what they do, right? So basically we saw this signage for these vaccine buses, and we're like, what the heck is a vaccine bus? Like, this seems really crazy. So we pull over because I'm very A-type and I want to have a conversation. And so we go up to these buses and we're having a conversation with them. We're like, what is the protocol here? Like, what do you guys got going on? Like, what are you doing in this neighborhood? And essentially anybody at that time that was 12 or up was allowed to go to this bus, whether they had a health card or not. They were able to deem if these kids were mature enough to make a decision with a vaccine for their body, whether the parents were present or not. We tried to convince a 14-year-old and her 17-year-old brother not to get on the bus. And the adults just scooped them inside. And I was just like, we're having these conversations. We're like, so listen, like you're able to vaccinate children and their parents don't know where they are. You don't know their medical history because if you don't have their health card, how are you able to pull anything up about them? And then you're expecting a 12-year-old or older to be mature enough to go home and call their family doctor and let the doctor know that they got vaccinated. And then on top of it, they wait their 30 minutes, whatever safety time in case there's an allergic reaction. I was like, what if that kid lives 30 minutes from this bus and they walked over here? It's like, on top of it, like, what if they passed out on the way home? What if something happened on the way home? Are you liable? They're not liable at all because the kids were responsible enough to make the decision, which is just insane. We looked it up online. You can go on Ontario.com. You can find all of this stuff. But basically, 5-year-olds and up are going to be allowed to get on these buses as well. And Ontario just launched where there's going to be clinics inside of the schools during school hours. Obviously, parents aren't there. And we looked up the requirements for getting vaccinated. You can have your health card, birth certificate. Your teacher could write you a letter saying that this is your name, age, address. You can have a library card to get vaccinated. Like, it's the stupidest thing in the whole wide world. Somebody in kindergarten is not educated enough, smart enough, or capable to make a decision like that. So that's what we got going on.
What kind of measures are they using to determine whether you're mature enough?
So it's really dumb. So basically, if I was a medical professional, I would basically ask you a series of questions and go, yep, you're mature.
Oh my God.
First, if they want everyone vaccinated, they're just saying everybody's mature.
So that's my point. It's very subjective. What if you have somebody who's like a stickler, but then you have somebody else who's not following those guidelines or whatever the case is? And what is the actual guidelines with that? How do you determine if they're mature? What if they're just really good at answering those questions because they see online that you're supposed to do this, this, and this, and so they answer questions based on what they've seen or what their parents told them? It's stupid.
Now, I don't know how the politics is in Canada when it comes to like kids and stuff. See, out here you have our left wing of politics that thinks that children can get vaccinated on their own as well, and they can modify their gender, but they can't buy guns or vote until they're 21 or out of the womb for the next 50 years, and then they're able to. But they can make permanent decisions like vaccinating and whatnot. Is that kind of similar up there?
Yes, that is similar here. Yes.
And the adults go along with it. That's what's insane to me. Like, it just
what's really funny is if you're Canadian and you're aggressive, they say you must be American. I'm like, I'd rather be American because like y'all are really passive and you don't know how to stand up for the kids. Like, at the end of the day, how many kids have to unfortunately have a severe or permanent reaction that they're not able to be revived from until they stop all this nonsense? Like, how many kids do you need experiments on until it's done? And just by the fact that they're saying the efficacy is all tested and clinical trials, like, I don't even trust that, because there's the girl, I think it was in Cincinnati, Ohio, down where you guys are, had severe reactions, had to go to the hospital 34 different times, and that wasn't even included in the clinical trial for her second dose. So what other children reactions were not included in the clinical trials that they just kind of were like, no, just a stomach ache, it's okay. And now they've just mass rolled it out for all the kids.
Are y'all as pretty divided over this stuff as we are?
Yeah, it's not uncommon for somebody to like wish you death in a Walmart, or I shouldn't say Walmart, but in a big box chain store. If you're not wearing a mask, they want you to, yeah.
Now, pre-COVID, you said you were semi into politics up until you got busy and whatnot.
Yeah.
Was it as divided then?
I didn't feel like it was as divided. I think people were a little bit more respectful of each other's views, even if they were far left or far right. But now it's a very clear divide on whether you're one side or the other. Actually, what's pretty cool is they just made the mandates. This isn't cool, but they tried to make the mandates on the truckers. And so they're going to be doing something called a freedom convoy. You guys can look that up. I don't know if you've heard of it, but basically, all the truckers are going to be moving from Windsor out east, out west, slowly doing a slow roll into Ottawa. So that's going to be really interesting to see what happens from there.
Now that's what I'm saying. Why would they want these truckers to be back? What do these truckers have to do with these people?
And they're isolated 99% of their day.
Yeah.
And most of the truckers own their trucks. They pick up the loads, bro.
Right. And they're by themselves. They're isolated. They're social distance.
They bid for the load. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
They have a GoFundMe though. They've raised over $350,000 for fuel for the truckers and stuff, which is going to be good. But they even said they're not doing it just to help themselves, but they're doing it to help encourage other people with other industries that are getting mandated and things like that as well, to just like actually stand up and fight against something. I think what's frustrating is so many people think, well, I'm not important. I only have like 100 followers or whatever. I'm like, but yeah, if you have conversations with each of those people, meaningful, genuine, authentic conversations where you actually care about them and their family as a person, even if you come away disagreeing, how many people can you actually impact long term if you actually just open your mouth and connect with your community, right? You guys are down in the States. You're not going to connect with the people in my city in the same way that I can connect with people in my city, just like I can't connect with people where you guys are in the same way. And so I think just people do the complacency of like passing the buck, and they just need to take responsibility and go, no, this is my community. I'm going to stand up for it. I don't care how little or big of an impact I make, but I'm actually going to stand up for the things and protect the children. When it was had to do with adults, if you want to be a dummy and go do certain things, it's your body, whatever. Right. But you're messing with kids.
Is there anybody else, any other lines of work doing the uprising like truckers, or is it right now just with truckers?
Well, they fired a bunch of the nurses because the nurses didn't want to obviously get coerced into getting it. But it's weird because now I think it's similar to you guys, but they're allowing vaccinated nurses that have COVID to work, but not the unvaccinated nurses that are healthy. So, and then the Ronald McDonald situation, you saw that blow up everywhere. But it's like, if it's about your health truly, why are you kicking out a kid who has cancer with a compromised system from a safety house where they can be with their parents, where they can be with their families and connected, over politics? Like, this isn't about health at the end of the day. And I wish people would just actually wake up and hear people's genuine stories and hear people who have had injuries from the vaccines too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Dr. Fauci also in charge of Canada?
So Theresa Tam is like the Fauci of Canada, if you want to call her that. But yeah, a lot of what you guys have rolled over here, CDC, World Health Organization, all those guidelines, they try to implement here too.
Right, all those losers.
Yes. Dr. Theresa Tam is. I was like, I feel like I'm not as intense as. But yeah.
Oh well, I have to be. On Jordan's show, it's mostly Christian based, and he's very kind, like he's more calm. So I had to go through a series of re-education camp classes for me to understand that I couldn't swear all the time on Jordan's show. And so now when I'm on my show here on YouTube, I am pretty much like a sailor. I just swear all the time. No, I'm very passionate. I'm like that in person and in public too. So it's just, I think that it's just like, it's good that we are able to have conversations with people from Canada or Australia or other parts of the world, because although I might not be able to impact what's going on in your city, or you might not be able to impact what's going on here, we don't get Canadian news at all.
Right.
I'm going to be honest with you. No, we do not get Canadian news, does not come through us at all. So if you want to talk about the FCC and how they control what goes through. At least I've never. I don't know if any of our viewers can tell me where you can
I don't
find
really get
Canadian
any
news.
foreign news.
Oh, okay.
Unless
So
it's like some catastrophe or something. That's usually the only time we get it.
Did you guys hear about Quebec tax?
No.
Okay, so Quebec wants to tax the unvaccinated with an undisclosed amount based on your vaccination status, and it's causing a huge uproar right now because if that goes over to all the other provinces, you're messing with people's like money now. I think that might actually get some people to wake up. But basically, he wants to impose a tax on unvaccinated persons. And there's also a court case in Quebec as well that's all up in arms because basically what happened is a dad was denied visitation rights based on not being vaccinated. So he's temporarily denied visitation rights to his kids, which is very scary precedents. Like if people understand the law, you guys understand it as well. Other people can utilize that as well for their future cases. So it's pretty scary. Quebec's real crazy. Like wherever your craziest liberal state is down there, it's probably Quebec here.
Wow. So the 43% tax was not enough. So now they're going to tax even more.
Yeah. So now they're going to tax you for not being vaccinated. They're really trying to squeeze people. What's frustrating me is the compromisers, the people that said they're not going to do certain things. And then when push came to shove, they compromised.
But hey, y'all were paid during COVID layoffs, right? Or the COVID shutdowns, right?
Yeah, which I think people also didn't understand the perspective of that as well. That was to roll out us like trying to get you comfortable with relying on the government. If you actually observe it, they're giving you free money to stay home, and then all of a sudden they're going to start implementing these little restrictions and things like that. But have you guys ever seen on Netflix The Push? Have you ever watched that?
No.
Like Social Experiment? Push is really interesting. So it's a social experiment. I'm kind of a nerd that basically was trying to see if you can allow somebody to do one teeny tiny little thing that's wrong, will they continue to make little mistakes all throughout the night to get them to basically push somebody off the building where they think they truly did push somebody off the building. So it's like little incremental things that get worse and worse and worse. And so they ran the experiment on 4 people. They assessed them, making sure that they didn't have any psychological things or they'd be super traumatic afterwards. But essentially 3 out, not to ruin it if people want to go watch it, but 3 out of the 4 failed. They actually pushed the person off the building by the end of the night. So it's a really interesting social experiment. And then you look at what's going on right now. Yeah. So right now you have they started the, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. And then it was just wear 1 mask. And then it was, just, do this, just do 1 jab. Oh, just wear 2 masks. Well, 2 jabs, now booster. Then Trudeau bought enough doses for Canadians to basically be vaccinated for the next 3 or 4 years, 4 shots a year. It's how many people have to die until you wake up? Not to be morbid, but.
No, you're right.
You do have a fellow Canadian in here, Kyla. She's we were messaging back and forth, and she's from Canada, so I let her know you were on the show too. So at first she was like, "Oh, great, probably a crazy leftist." I was like, no, I don't think so."
No, I'm conservative.
So
I'm respectful of people, but yeah. Sorry, okay, go off. Go ahead.
So you're probably a little bit more moderate, which is, I mean, you lean probably more on the conservative side, but you listen to other people's views and opinions, and then you form your own, which I think is normal.
Should be.
You would think.
I don't think
you would ask.
I don't think it's normal anymore. I think it used to be, but I don't think it is anymore.
No, yeah, right. It's not. No, I really wanted to just have you on because I wanted to talk to you a little bit more. I know that, we had you on Jordan's show, and we do have some Canadian viewers on our show as well. So
hey, where can I find that? And just so that if anybody on here wants to go listen to it too.
Yeah, so if it's Speak Truth Without Fear, if you're on Rumble, you can pull up any of the shows. It's also on iTunes and Spotify.
Okay. Yeah, that way if anybody wants to see an extended version of tonight, they can be able to go and watch it.
Yeah. And I know she was having some technical issues the last time when we had her on the show. I think the sound was a little but I really appreciate showing people that like you said, more grassroots, just you're showing that you're a citizen in another country that's not scared to ask people questions and confront them to see exactly what's going on and question those things that they're doing. So I commend you. Thank you so much for coming on. Tex, you have anything else?
is it okay if people find you on Instagram? I know I found you on Instagram today, and we followed each other. So and I put that as the main picture, the whatever they call that, the card for here. Is it okay if people go and find you and friend you and whatnot? Or
Yeah, for sure.
okay.
Yeah, for
And then
sure. And
if there's
something that you
anything we
guys
can
will
do, if there's anything we can do, short of coming to help you guys do a revolution, let us know. Any word that we can push out or anything we can do on our platforms, we'd be glad to help you out.
Yeah, if you have big things that are, happen or drop in Canada and want to let us know about it, please message me, let me know about it. We'll definitely bring awareness to it. Like I said, we just don't get the news about Canada like we would want.
That's so interesting. Wow.
And
I didn't think about that.
anytime our news station says, like we were just saying, it's called Beyond Our Borders. Anytime, one of our news hosts on TV, he says, and here's a special look at what, sorry, I'm not in the studio today. Here's a special look at what's going on beyond our borders. And it's always like either a natural disaster, a fire that happened, anything that's like not COVID real, like no revolution.
We don't see the big marches and protests are happening overseas unless it's on TikTok or social.
No, and if we do share them, it says that it's misinformation. I've shared Australian big protests and the one in Italy. They've literally taken it down for content violations, and they said that it's misinformation. It's literally happening. Yeah. How is it misinformation?
It's crazy to me that social media is able to flag within like 10 minutes if you say COVID, but they can't catch sex predators on their platforms. I'm just saying priorities, social media.
Done by design.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys both so much. It was really
absolutely
nice to meet you. Great to see you again as well. You guys are both awesome.
Thank you. So are you, Kat. Thank you. And please, again, just reach out to us at any time. And if you have any questions about the U.S., we'll send it your way too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. We'll see everybody else Thursday.
See you.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good evening.
Saber on the